idea what you've unleashed here today. There are some things far more frightening than death.
Star Wars is dead and Kathleen Kennedy is diddling the corpse. Dave Filoni jerks off feverishly in the corner. Ahsoka is 8 episodes, 45 minutes. That's 360 minutes of absolute unbridled fun and misery. I mean pleasure. It's a wonderful show. I totally wouldn't use it to torture my enemies or ex-girlfriends that have deeply upset me or offended me in any sort of way. When I pressed play on Ahsoka, my web browser immediately crashed. The Disney's website is once again a technological marvel, the likes of which never been seen before. I can't get enough of the House of Mouse. Please hand me my cyanide capsules. This show not working was a clear sign that God didn't want me to watch it. But as we all know, I don't listen to God or my mother. Disney's aim was to make Ahsoka more inclusive by giving her Luke's story arc after the Return of the Jedi, because we don't need any more men. What's great about Ahsoka is the massive amount of women in power. I don't know what was more ridiculous. Ahsoka fighting spaceships in space, or the amount of women in positions of power that seemed to not know what the hell was going on.
General Syndulla, might I have a word?
Of course, Chancellor.
I don't know what you and Leia are playing at, but I know she did not authorize your mission.
She did. Eventually.
Put your personal feelings aside and don't deny you have them. How real is the threat of Thrawn's return?
We have to prepare for the worst.
But it's a perfect mirror of the current state of America. The only thing missing was a man in high heels and panties, and we really could have taken it to that next level of inclusion. As we all know, Star Wars has always been inclusive, but not inclusive enough. But let's just remember the original Star Wars, when they had the world's first clearly openly homosexual robot named C-3PO. Progression was going on for decades before many of us were born. Oh well, what do I know? I'm an old Star Wars fan. Now I'm just a big fat bigot. I will make you watch Ahsoka, dog. Fluffy, what are you doing? Fluffy! To say Ahsoka was predictable is to say that Darkside Phil's pre-stream today will have lots of begging.
I received 0 contributions. Literally nothing.
I can't wait for the next episode on the Snort Fort. And honestly, I will say, Darkside Phil's begging been a lot more interesting than the 8 episodes of Ahsoka. By the time I finished the last one, I thought to myself, man, I wonder what Phil's doing. Oh, by the way, Ahsoka's a ninja now, but she's also a Ronin. Does it make sense? It doesn't need to, because nobody has any ideas. The first episode of Ahsoka, she discovers a MacGuffin. It's the map from Treasure Planet. This show was a thrill a minute. Did I mention that the MacGuffin map also works just like the map in Treasure Planet? It's kind of a theme of the show. They just like lift ideas from other TV shows and movies. I mean, they were inspired by them. Dave Filoni's a genius. The overall theme of the show had boss babe energy. If you saw a woman and she was on screen, not only was she in a position of power, but she was badass. And she didn't just kick one ass, she kicked 7 kinds of ass. Like the scene where, oh God, Sabine, she's riding the speeder, and they're like, Sabine, don't do it, Sabine, you're so bad.
Sabine?
Is she gonna stop?
Sabine, stand down.
She's not stopping.
Sabine!
She's crazy.
Oh my God, you go girl!
She drifts the speeder under the X-Wing, but how can you drift a vehicle that doesn't have will? Don't think about it. Dave Filoni's a genius. Pay no mind to the man in black armor that looks like a character from Dark Souls. That's totally not a ripoff in any way, shape, or form. Don't worry. He doesn't matter. The writing is so good, they created a character specifically to sell toys and immediately killed him. And the best part is, when he died, he disappeared in a vapor like a wet fart. It's truly poetic. Did I say Dave Filoni's a genius and Star Wars is back and is better than ever? I don't know, that's what Twitter told me. And if I thought any other way, I obviously hated trans kids. The training of Sabine, I can basically say, was a concept of bad writing and galactic hugs. I don't need her to be a Jedi, I need her to be herself, said Ahsoka. After our two female characters discover the power of friendship and building each other up, and then we can have it all. Or we can all win. Something like that. Doesn't matter. Dave Filoni's a genius. Did I mention that they have the rings from Halo in this show? But they're not the rings from Halo that transport you to another universe, even though that was in Halo. But it's in Star Wars. Dave Filoni came up with it first. Did I also talk about the fantastically whimsical ideas Dave Filoni lifted from Treasure Planet? I mean, was inspired by? With the galactic space whales? How did he come up with something so original and different and new? Harrison Syndulla. She's a single mother that's a general, proving yet again that women can not only have family, but they can have a career. And the best part is, she brings her kid to the middle of wars. I have nothing for this. I've never been so inspired in all of my life. If that wasn't good enough for you, the child is incredibly gifted. He can hear lightsaber duels happening inside of Ahsoka's mind, or in between the place of the living and the dead. I don't know. The kid is just brilliant. He's amazing. I can't get enough of him. If only he was a woman. Ahsoka not only dies, but she meets the King of Pop, aka Anakin Skywalker. I don't know who did the airbrushing for Hayden Christensen, but they must have worked in a morgue, because that's what he looked like. An animated corpse brought back for a few fat little paychecks. Do you remember the Clone Wars? If you don't, we're going to get a whole sequence about it that I'm going to force you to look at. If I could pit Dave Filoni's face, I'd do it.
Well, nice knowing you. I'll see you on BitChute. You are on BitChute, aren't you?
After Ahsoka escapes death fighting with Anakin Skywalker in a sequence I can best describe as member berries, she is brought back and she wears all white. This has absolutely no inspiration from Lord of the Rings. I don't know why anyone's worried about Commander Thrawn. The man couldn't kill 4 people on a desolate planet by himself, even with the help of 2 fallen Jedis. And everybody's like, oh my god, Commander Thrawn is coming back. Oh no, the Empire. How can you be afraid of this dude? He's more incompetent than the stormtroopers they send. And don't even get me started on that. The trope of stormtroopers not being able to shoot. Mother of God. They literally circle Ahsoka and nobody shoots her in the back. They just wait for the Asian girl, Sabine, to show up and then go, I'm here to help. And, oh, this show sucks. Oh, and the zombie stormtroopers talk about a analogy for the series itself. It is a rotted corpse they keep bringing back from the dead and reanimating to try and squeeze out an extra few dimes and nickels, as their toys don't sell in the damn stores and they keep ending up at like Costco and the Dollar General, and where eventually they can't even sell them there, and then they throw the Star Wars toys into a landfill to rot and just ruin the planet, as our politicians sit there and go, Oh, it's not the major companies filling landfills with Star Wars toys. It's you for having a gas stove, you idiot. Dave Filoni should be completely and utterly just disgusted with himself. Now, what do? Oh, let's give the Death Star ship a tramp stamp tattoo on its belly. There's the move to make. Nothing says badass like tribal tattoos. And wrap all the stormtroopers in some gold and a couple of red rags. For what? Who the hell knows? Oh, and the witches that do magic powers that seem to be absolutely useless. They brought back zombie stormtroopers to do all. And they made this other chick like a witch with a flame sword, and she ultimately died. It made nothing matters, dude. This all doesn't matter. The dude who died at the end of this got out easily, because he doesn't have to be in season 2 that you know's coming anyway, because Disney has no ideas, and Bob Iger is trusting Dave Filoni to do something, because Kathleen Kennedy is absolutely and utterly incompetent. They took a $4 billion IP and turned it into a pile of shit that ironically is worth more than a landfill full of Star Wars toys. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it Ahsoka a 3. If you're having trouble sleeping, the show will knock you out like Ambien. It makes absolutely no sense, and it doesn't matter. And it makes you wonder just how bad Daredevil was, that Disney actually looked at their 9 episodes of that and said, holy hell, this is bad. We gotta start from the beginning. I wasted my life watching it. I've taken shits that were more rewarding than watching Ahsoka. I have no analogy other than the show sucks. which isn't really articulate. But does it deserve to be articulated? Do I need to be verbally dexterous to convey how bad a show is? And Hayden Christensen, my God, the man's eyes look like a ghoul. He is dead inside. The reality is sunken in that he will forever be Anakin Skywalker as they constantly drag him out as the years go on to do more Star Wars crap. Hey, Hayden, you want to come back and be Anakin Skywalker again? And talk to Rosario Dawson, a 45-year-old woman looking every bit of it when she does her Star Wars fights? Oh, and the sword fight. I've seen more professional lightsaber work at Comic-Con, dude. Ah!